Every day we encounter people who seem to sabotage their own potential without even realizing it. But when it comes to identifying these patterns in others, or even in ourselves, it can be shockingly difficult. Today, we're diving into a topic that's often avoided, misunderstood, or whispered about behind closed doors. The 6 self-sabotaging habits that hold women back. Now let me be clear, this isn't about intelligence or education. This is about choices, behaviors, and mindsets that anyone can fall into, no matter how smart they are. The truth is, most people will never understand how these traits ruin relationships, destroy opportunities, and keep women stuck in cycles of failure. But you're not most people. You're here because you want clarity, and you're about to learn something that could completely change how you see yourself and others. Imagine this. 2 women walk into the same room. One is effortlessly magnetic. People are drawn to her energy, her confidence, her clarity. The other? She's constantly seeking approval, overcompensating, and sabotaging her own credibility. What's the difference? It's not luck. It's not intelligence. It's mindset. Most people assume success is about what you have, but in reality, it's about how you think. And when you understand these 6 traits, you'll not only recognize them in others, you'll make sure you avoid them in yourself. Here's the kicker. These signs are subtle. They don't scream at you, they whisper. And if you don't train your mind to spot them, you'll miss the opportunity to rise above them. But don't worry. You're about to get the clarity you need. We're turning to the wisdom of Stoicism for this. The ancient Stoics believed that true power comes not from controlling others, but from mastering yourself. And when you apply this mindset, you'll see these 6 signs for what they really are: opportunities to grow stronger. So if you're ready to elevate your thinking, subscribe and like now, and let's dive in. Number 1. She struggles with self-validation. Why do some people constantly feel the need to seek approval from others? The first sign of a stupid woman is her obsession with external validation. She's constantly fishing for compliments or trying to impress people who don't even care about her. Whether it's through social media likes, relationships, or even how she presents herself, her worth is tied to how others perceive her. But here's the problem. When you depend on others to validate your worth, you hand over your power. You become a puppet, controlled by their opinions. The Stoics taught us this. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you stop seeking validation from others and start validating yourself, you break free from the chains of insecurity. Let me tell you about Sarah. She was the kind of woman who couldn't make a decision without asking 5 people what they thought. She'd post photos on Instagram, refreshing her feed every few minutes to see how many likes she got. When her boyfriend didn't compliment her outfit, her whole day was ruined. But here's what changed. Sarah started journaling every morning, asking herself one question: what do I think of me? She began to focus on her own opinions, values, and goals. Over time, she stopped caring so much about what others thought. And ironically, people started respecting her more. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." The same applies here. When your ambition is to impress others, you lower your worth. But when your ambition is to impress yourself, you become unstoppable. So here's my challenge for you. Spend the next week validating yourself. Write down 3 things you're proud of every day, no matter how small they seem. And the next time you catch yourself seeking approval, ask, would I still do this if no one was watching? Number 2. She blames everyone but herself. Here's a hard truth. If you're constantly blaming others for your problems, you're the problem. The second sign of a stupid woman is her inability to take responsibility. She's always the victim, whether it's her job, her relationships, or her circumstances. If something goes wrong, it's always someone else's fault. But here's the truth. Blaming others is the fastest way to stay stuck. When you refuse to own your mistakes, you also refuse the opportunity to learn and grow. The Stoics believe that life isn't about what happens to you, it's about how you respond. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you take responsibility for your life, even when it's not your fault, you unlock the power to change your circumstances. Take Jessica, for example. She was constantly complaining about her toxic workplace. Her boss was unfair, her coworkers didn't respect her, and she felt stuck. But when she started reflecting, she realized something. She'd never set boundaries, she never spoke up for herself, and she'd let resentment build up over time. Instead of blaming her boss, Jessica decided to take ownership. She had one honest conversation with her manager, set clear boundaries, and immediately started looking for new opportunities. Within 2 months, she landed a better job, and she stopped feeling like a victim. Studies show that people who take responsibility for their mistakes are 50% more likely to achieve their goals. Why? Because they focus on solutions instead of problems. Seneca wrote, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Blaming others blinds you to opportunities. But when you take responsibility, you prepare yourself to turn challenges into success." So here's your self-reflection challenge. Ask yourself, where am I blaming others instead of taking responsibility? Be honest. Write it down. And the next time you face a challenge, ask, what's one thing I can do right now to take control? Number 3, she prioritizes drama over growth. You've been lied to. Drama can be distracting and hold you back from real growth. The third sign of a stupid woman is her addiction to drama. Whether it's gossiping about others, creating unnecessary conflict, or constantly surrounding herself with chaos, she thrives on the adrenaline of drama instead of focusing on personal growth. Here's the problem. Drama is a distraction. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of negativity, stopping you from building meaningful relationships or achieving anything worthwhile. The Stoics believed that emotional stability is the foundation of wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The same applies here. Stop wasting your energy on petty conflicts. Focus on becoming better, not bitter. Let me introduce you to Emily. Emily was the queen of drama. Every time she met her friends, it turned into a gossip session. She'd complain about her coworkers, stir up fights in her relationships, and even pick random arguments with strangers online. One day, a close friend called her out. "Do you realize how much time you spend complaining instead of actually doing something about your problems?" That hit hard. Emily decided to experiment. She cut out gossip, stopped reacting emotionally to every small issue, and started using her free time to read, exercise, and learn new skills. Within a few months, Emily noticed a huge shift. Not only did her relationships improve, but she also felt calmer, more confident, and more in control of her life. Epictetus once said, "Small-minded people blame others. The wise remain silent and take action. Drama is a sign of small-mindedness." Growth, on the other hand, comes from focusing on what truly matters. Here's your challenge. For the next week, eliminate drama from your life. Don't gossip, don't react to petty conflicts, and don't waste time on meaningless arguments. Instead, redirect that energy towards something productive. You'll be shocked at how much lighter and more powerful you feel. Number 4, she fears change and growth. The greatest tragedy in life isn't failure, it's staying the same. Another sign of a stupid woman is her resistance to growth. She's afraid of change, sticks to what's comfortable, and avoids anything that challenges her worldview. She'll say things like, "That's just how I am," or "I'm not ready for that yet," as an excuse to stay stagnant. But here's the truth. Comfort is a trap. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, the harder it becomes to leave, and the more opportunities you miss along the way. The Stoics believe that growth comes from discomfort. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." When you embrace change and step into the unknown, you unlock potential you didn't even know you had. Take Anna, for example. She had the same job for years, even though she hated it. Why? Because she was scared to try something new. When her friends encouraged her to apply for a better position, she'd say, "What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail?" What if it's even worse? But one day, Anna realized her fear of change was costing her more than failure ever could. She took a leap of faith, applied for the job, and got it. The first few weeks were tough, but over time, she grew into her new role, and she discovered a confidence she never thought she had. Studies show that people who embrace change are 40% more likely to achieve long-term success. Why? Because they're constantly adapting, learning, and growing. Heraclitus famously said, "The only constant in life is change." Resisting change is like trying to stop the waves in the ocean. It's impossible. But when you learn to ride the waves, you discover new horizons. Here's a self-reflection exercise. What's one area of your life where you've been avoiding growth? Maybe it's a career change, a difficult conversation, or a new skill you've been too scared to try. This week, take one small step toward it. Remember, growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you challenge yourself. Number 5, she lacks emotional control. Here's the truth. If you can't control your emotions, someone else will control you. The 5th sign of a stupid woman is her inability to regulate her emotions. She lashes out when she's angry, shuts down when she's upset, and lets her feelings dictate her actions. Whether it's an impulsive decision or a heated argument, she's constantly reacting instead of responding. But here's the problem. Emotional outbursts don't solve problems. They create new ones. And when you're ruled by your emotions, you lose respect, credibility, and control over your life. The Stoics taught us that mastering your emotions is the ultimate form of power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Emotional control isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about choosing how you respond to them. Let me tell you about Lisa. Lisa was the kind of woman who couldn't handle criticism. The moment someone disagreed with her, she'd explode in anger or burst into tears. This pattern cost her friendships, opportunities, and even her self-respect. One day, Lisa stumbled upon a simple Stoic exercise. When she felt herself getting emotional, she paused and asked, "Is this reaction helping me or hurting me?" Over time, she learned to take deep breaths, step back, and respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively. The result? She became more assertive, more respected, and more in control of her life. Studies show that people with high emotional intelligence are 30% more likely to succeed in their personal and professional lives. Why? Because they think before they act, which leads to better decisions and stronger relationships. Seneca said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful than the injury that provokes it." Emotional control is a sign of strength, not weakness. It allows you to rise above petty conflicts and focus on what truly matters. Here's a quick exercise. The next time you feel yourself getting emotional, take a moment to pause. Breathe deeply, count to 10, and ask yourself, what's the best way to handle this situation? It's a simple habit, but it can completely transform how you interact with the world. Number 6, she refuses to learn. A person who stops learning starts dying, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The 6th and final sign of a stupid woman is her refusal to learn. She clings to outdated beliefs, avoids new ideas, and rejects feedback that could help her grow. Whether it's fear of failure or plain stubbornness, she's stuck in a fixed mindset, and that keeps her from reaching her full potential. Here's the truth. Growth requires humility. You can't evolve if you're not willing to admit that you don't know everything. The Stoics believed that wisdom begins with recognizing your own ignorance. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." When you embrace a learner's mindset, you open yourself up to endless possibilities for growth and success. Meet Rachel. Rachel was the kind of person who never took advice. She'd say things like, "I already know what I'm doing," or "That won't work for me." But despite her confidence, she wasn't making progress in her career or personal life. One day, she decided to try something different. Instead of shutting down feedback, she started listening. She read books, took courses, and even asked her friends for honest critiques. The result? She discovered blind spots she didn't even know she had, and she used that knowledge to completely transform her life. Studies show that people with a growth mindset are 70% more likely to achieve their goals. Why? Because they see challenges as opportunities to learn, not obstacles to avoid. Aristotle said, "The more you know, the more you realize you don't know." True intelligence isn't about having all the answers. It's about being curious enough to keep asking questions. So here's your next step challenge. Spend 30 minutes this week learning something new. Read a book, watch a documentary, or ask someone for feedback on how you can improve. Remember, growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. So let's recap. The 6 signs of a stupid woman are: she struggles with self-validation. She finds it hard to take ownership. She prioritizes drama over growth. She fears change and growth. She struggles to manage emotions effectively. She refuses to learn. At the end of the day, intelligence isn't about how much you know. It's about how you think, how you act, and how you grow. The real strength isn't in words. It's in action. If this resonated with you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your favorite takeaway in the comments below. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, you have the power to shape your own life. See you in the next one.